Can Jake Paul beat Anderson Silva? Those are words I never thought I'd be able to say in my life because I didn't think that fight would actually happen. Today is a press conference for Jake Paul, Anderson Silva, and I think Chael Sonnen is hosting it. I'm surprised this fight is even happening. A lot of people are saying Jake Paul is going to lose, but I'm not going to completely rule him out, and here's why. Jake Paul is a young guy, okay? He only started boxing properly around 2 or 3 years ago, and Anderson Silva is quite old. He is 47, I believe, or 48, and he has been fighting ever since he left the UFC, so I'll give him that. He has a lot of experience, but Jake Paul is a much younger guy, which means he probably has more energy. Am I right? No. Anderson Silva is called the Spider for a reason, okay? He dodges the punches. He doesn't get hit. Here's a clip of him just not getting hit and knocking a guy out in UFC.
Look at Silva. I mean, that's just amazing. And again.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it? But I'll say one thing. Jake Paul can still win. I'm not going to completely rule him out because Jake Paul is not the worst fighter in the world. Eddie Hearn said he's an average fighter, which is a compliment for him, especially because he just started doing boxing, and that whole persona of him being a YouTuber is just gone, basically. He's now a boxer, a professional boxer, and he's now got a real test. Personally, I thought Tyron Woodley was his Personally, I thought Tyron Woodley was his proper test, but a lot of people just gave him hate for that, even though he was meant to fight a boxer, but he pulled out and pulled out again. Then he was going to fight Hasim. Now he is fighting Anderson Silva on October 29th, I believe, one of those dates. And honestly, I don't know what can happen. Now, who do I want to win? I want Anderson Silva to win, but I just have a bad feeling, okay? Anderson Silva is very good at boxing. He beat Julio Chavez Jr., okay? That is a massive accomplishment. And Julio Chavez Jr. was so much more younger than Anderson Silva, and Anderson Silva still managed to knock him out, and that was crazy. It was absolutely crazy, okay? I think Anderson Silva can still knock out Jake Paul. If Jake Paul beats Anderson Silva, KSI and KSI fans such as me should all be scared. I'm still scared for the KSI vs Jake Paul fight because I still think KSI will lose. But if Jake Paul beats Anderson Silva, KSI will definitely lose to Jake Paul. I don't see any way where KSI can beat Jake Paul if Jake Paul has beaten Anderson Silva, unless KSI can also beat Anderson Silva, which makes them equal fighters. Or if Jake Paul has beaten Anderson Silva, unless KSI can also beat Anderson Silva, which makes them equal fighters. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Anderson Silva cannot win or Jake Paul cannot win. I think it's just a very, very close fight for me to even judge, but I think Anderson Silva could possibly just knock him out. But Jake Paul, if he wins, I don't see him knocking out Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva just doesn't get knocked out, okay? Please don't say Jake Paul's going to knock him out because it just won't happen. I think the only way Jake Paul wins this is on points, and I do think it can happen as long as Jake Paul just doesn't get knocked down. Even if he gets knocked down, he's going to have to counter by knocking Anderson Silva down. I think it could go all of the rounds if there is no knockout, and I genuinely do think this could be the first time we see Jake Paul lose, and I want it to happen. I hate Jake Paul, respect him, but piss off, please. Get off my screen. I just want you to get knocked out, but I don't care by who. At this rate, I just want to see Jake Paul flat on the canvas, but respect him, because if it wasn't for him, I don't think we would see a lot of these YouTube boxers and all of these events. Obviously, like I said previously, the press conference is today. I don't know if Jake Paul's going to be able to even stand against Anderson Silva in the face-to-face, because look how scary the guy is, okay? He's called the Spider for a reason. Oh, God. Bro, I'm waiting for this fight. I'm waiting for this fight. It's going to be such an entertaining fight. Definitely gonna buy the pay-per-view if it's not $60 like the Hasim Rockman Jr. fight. If it is, I'll just stream it like I did for the Austin one. Speaking of that fight, he talked a lot of rubbish and Gib just knocked him out. I'll be so real, I stayed up and it was 7 a.m. in the morning and I was so annoyed because I could have slept and just set an alarm for 7 a.m. Luckily, the UFC kept me going. But anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys like these types of videos, please consider liking and subscribing. Road to 230, I'd say. I'm on 209 right now, which is mental. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and peace.